Hello and welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video. This one we're looking at 6 players to avoid in your FPL teams. Some of them are pretty popular as well, so let's get into it. Okay, so the first player we're looking at is Cunha. Now, he's pretty highly owned at the moment. He's been moved from a forward to a midfielder this season. That does make him a little bit better of an option, don't get me wrong, but my thing is I just don't really trust Man United, and obviously they were bad last season. They have made improvements, obviously, and Mbeumo coming in, Cunha coming in. Whether they're going to get a striker now or not, they've been linked to Watkins, but who knows what will happen there. Don't get me wrong, like I say, I do expect them to be better than they were last season. However, I think we can just wait and see on that. I think there's no reason to go early on these Man United players. I mean, last season he was kind of a main man in Wolves, so that helped him a lot. He also was going to be on penalties potentially. I mean, they didn't get any penalties, but when we're looking at players to buy, we're looking at whether they're on penalties and things like that. Another reason I don't like starting with these guys, one, obviously, like I just mentioned, there's a risk that Man United just won't be better than they were, although going forward I think they will because of these new signings. But secondly, their fixtures, you can see at the bottom there, Arsenal at home game week 1. Obviously, Fulham away, Burnley at home isn't bad, but then it's Man City away and Chelsea at home. If Man United had really good fixtures to start the season, then it might be worth taking the risk on a Cunha or somebody else in the Man United team. But with those fixtures, I just don't really think it's worth it. The only player I really like from Man United is potentially Bruno Fernandes, more just because you know what you're going to get from him. There's so many routes to points. He's on penalties. We'll kind of have to see where he plays in that Man United team now, whether he is deeper. But even when he's not that deep, he's still good for defensive contribution points. He's very good for bonus points because he's creative. There's a lot of things to like about him. But Cunha, the one thing I will say about Cunha though is his numbers last season were very good. 110 shots. I mean, he had a lot of shots outside the box last season, which is why his XG isn't anything incredible. But I mean, he scored quite a lot of them. But yeah, 15 goals, 7 assists, 110 shots, 44 on target, 55 shots in the box. All of his numbers are just very good. So, like I say, I do expect him to improve Man United. I just think with those fixtures we can wait and see. I mean, I don't think there's any reason to rush into getting Cunha. Okay, the second player we're looking at is Bryan Mbeumo, and I mean, I mentioned him a minute ago. The fixtures there are not correct. That's as if he was still at Brentford, but the numbers are correct, and the numbers are a joke. Obviously, 12.44 XG, 8.98 XA, the big chances created, goals, assists, everything. Obviously, had an unbelievable season last year. However, he is now going into a Man United team that isn't functioning at its best, as I just mentioned. Also, quite a few of those 20 goals were penalties. He most likely will not be on penalties now. Bruno Fernandes will likely be taking penalties, although that's not set in stone, of course. There is a world where Mbeumo potentially does take penalties, but it's just more likely that Bruno keeps them, to be honest. I think, like I say, the fixtures are wrong there, but I do think we can just wait and see on these Man United guys. We don't need to go early because the fixtures are bad. It's Arsenal, Man City and Chelsea all in their first 5 games, so I'm just not sure it's necessary. It also depends how they play. I mean, I think we'll see a kind of 5 at the back with 2 midfielders and then Mbeumo and Cunha behind a striker probably. Whether that striker is like a false 9, I mean, Bruno can do that role, or it's Højlund who is actually just going to play as a straight up 9. Who knows? It will probably be Mbeumo and Cunha kind of behind and wide of a striker with Ahmad and Dorgu on the wing backs, but I don't mind that for these Man United guys. I just think we need to wait and see. There's no real rush into these Man United players given that they don't have good fixtures and it's not really a functioning team yet. Okay, before we get into the third player to avoid, I just wanted to make you aware of Fantasy Football Hub. The link to them is in the description of this video. They've got a cool feature. I mean, this is my updated draft from the video the other day. You can put in a screenshot from the FPL app of your team and it will give you a rating by their AI tool. So mine's rated 90%, you can see up top there, or well, 88%, but for game week 1 it's 90%. Completely free. All you do, like I say, is go to the link in the description of my video, upload your screenshot and it will give you a rating. Once you do that, let me know what rating you get and see if you can beat my 90%. Okay, now the third player we're looking at is the most popular player in the game. He's owned by over half of teams right now. I think it's 56% roughly at the time of recording this. Now, don't get me wrong, I think that Chelsea are going to be very good this season. Their opening fixtures are nice as well. You can see there, Palace at home, West Ham away, Fulham at home, Brentford away, Man United away. That is a nice run of fixtures. And I do expect him to be the starting striker for Chelsea in these games. I mean, last season, his numbers were pretty good. Some of those goals were penalties, so some of that XG was penalties as well. But regardless, the numbers are very good. And obviously, he started his Chelsea career really well. So in the 2 games that he played, or the 2 games that he started in the Club World Cup, he got 2 goals in the first one against Fluminense, and then a goal against PSG as well. The only problem I've got with him is that, like we saw in the Club World Cup, the 2 games he started, the one against Fluminense, he came off in the 60th minute, and the one against PSG, he came off in the 67th minute. One of those was for Jackson, one of those was for Delap. I think this is going to be a pretty common theme over this season, or certainly the start of this season, where he starts probably every single game, but around the 60th to 70th minute, I think that we'll see him come off for Delap. If Jackson's still there, then maybe Jackson, but more likely Delap. It's not like Delap is a really bad option that they won't want to be bringing on. He is a very, very capable striker, as we've seen, especially if they're kind of holding on to a lead as well. Delap can hold the ball up really, really nicely, which is quite a nice trait to have later in the game. So it's not specifically Joao Pedro or Chelsea that I don't like here. It's more that I think he'll only play 60 to 70 minutes every single game. And don't get me wrong, that could be enough. He could, like he's proven in the Club World Cup, bag a couple of goals in that time and then we're fine with him playing 70 minutes. But obviously we usually prefer players that will play more minutes. So that's my only reasoning for this one. Right, the fourth player we're looking at is Pedro Porro. Now, he's not that popular, not like Joao Pedro is. Pedro Porro, I think, is in around 10% of teams at the moment, which doesn't put him in like the top 5 defenders or anything like that, but still pretty popular. Now, I do kind of get the reasoning for it. Spurs do have very nice fixtures. Burnley at home in game week 1 is nice. City away isn't ideal, but they do seem to like playing City for some reason. Every season they do pretty well against them. Then Bournemouth at home, West Ham away, Brighton away, all pretty nice fixtures. So I get it. I, in my recent draft, have loaded up on Spurs players, and I will likely have 2 Spurs players to start the season at least. I just don't think that Pedro Porro should be one of these Spurs players that you pick. Now, my reasoning for that is his price. He is 5.5 million, which I think is just too expensive, given that some of the other options at 5.5 are much better. The likes of Tarkowski, who's huge on these defensive contribution points. The likes of Murillo, who's huge on bonus points, defensive contribution points, all of that. I just think there is much better options at his price point. And not only that, I think there's better options at Spurs for much cheaper. I mean, we've got a couple of 4.5 million options, one of them being Udogie. Now, he's not on their pre-season tour because he's got a little bit of an injury. So if he doesn't get any pre-season minutes when they come back, then he probably isn't an option to start. But Van de Ven is an option to start. Yes, it doesn't have the attacking threat that Pedro Porro has, but for a whole million less, you can do a lot with that million. And also, I think we are more likely to see Pedro Porro on less set pieces this season. I mean, when Maddison's on the pitch, he takes all of the set pieces. Pedro Porro doesn't take any. I think we're going to see Maddison on the pitch more, but not only that, I just think we'll see Pedro Porro on less in general. His numbers are good. I mean, 39 shots. He's taking over a shot a game, which for a defender is pretty good. And his XA is also very good. 6 assists last season. I have no doubt that he'll be a good option. I just don't think that he is worth his 5.5 million price tag when there's better options at his price from other teams, and there's better options at 4.5 million for Spurs. The fifth player we are going to look at is Omar Marmoush from Man City. Now, again, the fixtures for Man City a pretty good start of the season. Wolves away is a nice fixture. Tottenham at home, on paper it's not a bad fixture. Brighton, Man United again, good fixtures. Arsenal not so much, but those first 4 are pretty nice. And also his numbers from last season are very good, considering he came only halfway through the season. 16 appearances, 7 goals, 49 shots is a lot, and that's a lot of shots in the box as well. XG is pretty nice. All of the numbers are just very decent, and eye test wise he was very good last season. However, a lot of these numbers are when Haaland was injured and he was playing up top, which should be noted. I mean, it is worth saying that before Haaland got injured, Marmoush was also playing kind of off the left and coming centrally with Haaland. So I'm not saying that now that Haaland's fit, Marmoush won't be playing, not at all. The only thing I am saying is that City have so many players for these positions. Like, Haaland is going to be starting up front. Let's not even get that wrong. Haaland will be starting up front, so Marmoush won't be. That means that Marmoush will be playing off the left, most likely. Now, off the left, they've got plenty of options. I mean, Foden can play on the left. They've got Doku, who's been playing a lot on the left. They've got Shirky, I'm not sure where he's going to be playing. Bernardo Silva, who typically plays on the right. They've got Savinho, who can play on the left as well. I just think that there's far too many other players that can play in the positions that Marmoush is going to play to make him a good enough option for 8.5 million. He is a midfielder now though, which I do like. I think that is actually going under the radar a little bit, because that will mean that he'll get a clean sheet point if they keep a clean sheet and things like that, and extra points for a goal. But I just don't think that he is going to be starting every single game, meaning that he's not worth 8.5 million in our teams. Okay, and the last player we're looking at is Jacob Murphy. Now, I haven't seen him in that many teams. I think he's only around 3% owned or something like that, but I've been sent a couple of teams with him in. Now, the fixtures are actually quite nice for Newcastle. Villa away is okay, Liverpool at home isn't great, but then Leeds, Wolves, Bournemouth is a pretty nice run of fixtures, and obviously we know what he can do from the end of last season. He was unbelievable last season, an absolute bargain for his price. However, I don't think that we are going to see the same sort of minutes from Jacob Murphy now. We know that Elanga has come in for Newcastle from Nottingham Forest, and right wing was exactly where he excelled for Forest last season, so I'd expect a real drop off in minutes from Murphy due to Elanga being in that position and will be taking minutes off of him for sure. Now, again, I do like Murphy's numbers. When he does play, he is very good. One thing I also don't like about him though is his price. He's 6.5 million. I do just think there's better options for that price. I mean, if Kudos is going to be a starting guy at Spurs, then I much prefer him for 6.5 million. I also much prefer Ndai from Everton with their fixtures. He's on penalties. There's just better options at his price point, I'd say. But that is all for this one. If you think I missed anyone or you disagree with any of the picks I've said, then drop them in the comments. Make sure you check out Fantasy Football Hub in the description. But like I say, that is all. If you like the video, do hit like, do subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.